Matt Gaetz's aspirations of becoming attorney general had barely died before Donald Trump announced who would be taking his spot. And it's Pam Bondi, who I think was on a lot of people's like maybe top 10 list of people he could put forward. It wasn't who I thought would be the next one. But if you're not familiar with Pam Bondi, she goes back with Donald Trump for a while. She's literally his lawyer, or at least has been in prominent cases. She has worked with him for a long time, made a lot of money off of him, sometimes in legitimate ways, sometimes in ways we're gonna scrutinize in a few minutes. And so it's hardly surprising. Now, here is how Donald Trump announced it, saying he's proud to announce former Attorney General of the great state of Florida. So she was that, which means she technically has some experience in this area, certainly more than Matt Gaetz did. She was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, where she was very tough on capital V violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida capital F families. Such a weird person. She worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs, reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdose deaths. Let's see, she was on his opioid and drug abuse commission during his first term. Obviously, opioids are no longer an issue in America, so they did a bang up job. That's good. But look, some of this sounds pretty good. It's certainly more than Matt Gaetz has done in this area. And so she has served on his legal team back during his first impeachment. She's been involved with the America First Policy Institute. And what you basically need to know about her is that she is, if not publicly, behind the scenes, a loyalist, kind of like a Matt Gaetz. Like, she is being chosen because of her loyalty to Donald Trump and their close working and financially attached relationship. Now, she has the benefit of having some experience, and also the benefit that, as far as I know, she has not been accused of any sex crimes. So that's good. It's good to have a little bit of representation of those sorts of people these days. But on the other hand, she's his lawyer. And I know that norms don't matter, Jordan, and we should probably stop fetishizing them. But like, generally the DOJ is supposed to be a little bit independent, like a little bit of distance from the president. And when you choose literally your former lawyer to be the head of the DOJ, the idea that there will be independence or that the DOJ could potentially be some sort of check on your power as it was during the first term, that seems similarly ridiculous as it might have been under a Matt Gaetz. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I almost forgot about her until she popped up yesterday. And during the Trump administration and even the years after, just seeing her on Fox, caping for Trump every step of the way, every little thing, it just reminded me like, oh God, these next 4 years are going to be psychotic. Just like someone I can't remember who said it, but someone compared it to just the Sean Hannity administration. All of those people who would frequent his show during the 4 Trump years, creating an alternate universe that his viewers would live in, spinning all of these fantastical webs and narratives about minor players in the federal government ultimately trying to take down Trump. Those are the people that are now in power and running federal agencies. It's it's horrifying that all of those people and their delusions are now going to be, I guess, affirmed, encouraged, celebrated. I don't know where this is going to take us. It doesn't feel great. And I don't think she's too dissimilar from Gaetz in terms of loyalty and a willingness to just do whatever Trump says. It's going to be bad. But she was a key part of a fantastical narrative that Hannity and Fox News delivered for years.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Look, I think, I don't know them. I don't know their relationship with Donald Trump, but what it seems like is she seems like a better pick for him, not only because she'll almost certainly have an easier chance getting nominated. A lot of people are throwing around, whether intentionally or not, Matt Gaetz being the first guy makes the other one seem more reasonable. But I also think she is more reasonable. But I think probably corrupt and probably wholly biased towards protecting Donald Trump. And we'll just throw out, back in 2013, he had donated $25,000 to her. And then she later decided that that she, in her official capacity then with New York Attorney General, was that she wasn't going to join the New York Attorney General's lawsuit against Trump University at that point. And you know, the idea that the dude hands over a bunch of cash so you can get elected, and then you decide not to investigate a thing that he ultimately ends up having to pay $25 million in reference to, certainly doesn't look cool. And then you try to defend him during his first impeachment. So again, those connections I think are disgusting and swampy 100% of the way. But it seems like she'll be more like, if she just wants someone there to go after her political opponents, Matt Gaetz is going to constantly draw a bunch of attention that I don't see how that would be helpful to him. Pam Bondi seems like she'll be able to operate a little bit more behind the scenes. Also, she's been an attorney general, so she at least kind of gets it. Matt Gaetz technically went to law school and then was on Fox and had a podcast for a long time. So I don't know why you wouldn't want Pam Bondi more.
Yeah. I mean, podcasting is probably harder than taking and passing the bar exam. So
yeah,
take issue with that comment.
That's true. If you do it daily, it is tough. Anyway, I'm gonna throw out one more thing, and then I have a comment. Lindsey Graham responded to Pam Bondi's name being announced by saying, this is a full tweet. "Well done, Mr. President. Picking Pam Bondi for Attorney General is a grand slam, touchdown, hole-in-one, ace, hat trick, slam dunk, Olympic gold medal pick. She will be confirmed quickly because she deserves to be confirmed quickly." What is that? What are you doing? Clearly you're on a thesaurus or you Googled what is sports or whatever, so you get all of those. But like, why are all of the men in the Republican Party so utterly pathetic? I don't get it. But anyway,
I assumed you would need help interpreting some of those terms, so I'm here to help if you want.
I know what it is. She's the world heavyweight champion of being your attorney general. 100%. It's a I don't know, a backcourt spike. I don't know. But anyway, I also just want to mention before we move on, because we're gonna take our break. It's great that Matt Gaetz went down. That's great. And a lot of, like, obviously there's a lot of stuff about him that I don't like. And the stuff that he's alleged to have done is definitely serious. I also just want to point out though, the stuff that Pete Hegseth is alleged to have done is objectively worse, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong in saying that he's alleged to have arguably violently raped someone? And yeah. I don't think she is accusing him of roofing her, but there's definitely shades in the story of the possibility of being roofied. Now, she did do a rape kit. I assume they probably would have tested for that at that point, although I don't know for sure. So the issue with Matt Gaetz is obviously the fact that she was underage, although he says, and the witnesses don't say he knew, so theoretically he didn't know that. And he did objectively break the law, but rape is worse, and his name hasn't been pulled, and the Senate seems pretty confident he can get confirmed.
The recent reporting does seem to suggest that they might be on the fence about Hegseth. So okay. Time will tell. I don't know if he'll get confirmed now. There are reports, anonymous sources close to Trump, that kind of stuff, that they were blindsided by this. Whether that's them trying to spin it, act like they didn't know, or maybe they actually were, it might become an issue that's too big to ignore. Because it does seem like obviously it's way worse, but it does seem like there is something there. So I would be, at this point, like 50-50, but I'm kind of leaning I would be surprised if he even gets confirmed.
Okay, well, maybe. And honestly, I don't think Trump should be too worried about that. There are still other hosts on Fox News to pick from. It's ridiculous.
Hannity.
He's just yeah, exactly. That could totally be
Defense Secretary Sean Hannity.
They're talking about
speak it into existence.
His entire Senate confirmation hearing will just be that old video of him training in Krav Maga. Let's just play that on loop. I know the martial world. They're talking about Dan Bongino to be the head of the Secret Service. Now, granted, he was in the Secret Service, so at least he was in that world. But does Trump know that there are people who aren't content creators, but arguably have merit? It's imagine if Bernie staffed his White House like this. He literally just had David Pakman and Emma Vigeland and me and those great people. But there's a lot of people in this country, not all of them appear in front of a camera. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?